Hello, everybody. This is Tech Stack here. Get the music going. Start music. Oh, dang it! I forgot about that. We have to do it the old school way. There we go. Okay, so today, what are we gonna work on? What have I been working on? So, I did some testing, and I want to test this now. Hey, below the stone. First in line. I did some testing without streaming, right? Because I was a little bit frustrated by the fact that one morning, I thought I had fixed the black lines, all of the power. Let's see, is it this one? No, this one. Haha. Can't remember which button it is. And I didn't have the black lines, but that night when I did the stream, I had the black lines. So this morning I tested again. I couldn't force the black lines to come up no matter how hard I tried. So then I fired up OBS, and the black lines still didn't occur. So maybe it's only when I'm streaming. So I thought maybe it was something with the way that OBS interacts with my video card, right? And is capturing things. Maybe it's slowing it down or whatever, but it didn't seem to have any impact. So if I get black lines now, because we were having them like crazy the other night, then we know it's something to do with interaction with streaming somehow. And it's not happening. Like, it would happen by now. And I'm looking for them specifically in the grass because that's the section that I thought I had fixed. Like, if it happens, I don't know, in the trees, I wouldn't be worried about it because I haven't done anything to the trees. How's it going below the stone? Are you guys working on your game tonight? Just not streaming it? What you up to? I'm not having it happen at all. I want to say it's fixed, but the fact that it happened the other night's got me a little concerned that it's gonna come up again, and I don't know why. One of the things that's not on my Trello board but I want to fix is the combat. Like, it's significantly better at getting that visual and placement feedback when you get hit, but it's not responsive enough from a player perspective. When I turn, like, it's not instantaneous. The movement needs to be zeroed out, then you turn when you hit the other direction. And that's a bit of a problem for combat when you want to run away and then quickly come back and shoot, right? It needs to be snappier. And I know why it does that. So that's something I'll put to my to-do list. Let's actually pull this over here. So I've been keeping the Trello board, not so much from a standpoint of I have to have everything that I'm working on here, but more a to-do list of things that I know I need to do and I don't want to forget about, along with, some ideas for different things. As I'm working on this, I'll come up with an idea and I know I can't get to it right away, so I'll want to put it on here. Things like that, right? And there's also some things, I do want to work on, like recently or soon, right? Moving walls. I think that's going to be a big piece of some dungeons, so I want to make sure that we can get that. Doors or rooms that have doors that lock on entry, right? So when you go into a dungeon room, as soon as you walk in there, all the doors shut. You're trapped in that room until you kill the monsters in that room. That type of thing. So again, down here, we need some type of event that can fire when the last monster or a specific monster in a room dies. Then the one that's been bugging me, again, about combat, I guess, is this one, where I'll shoot my arrow and it will go over top of water, right? Or it won't go over top of the water. Or in that dungeon scene, and I'll walk over there while we're talking. The dungeon scene, like, there's a pitfall area that I've created where you can't physically walk, but because it's got a collider, the arrow collides with that collider and then just stops. It doesn't seem right for being something that's lower than the player's level. Not a structure that's built up, right, to stop this arrow. So I can shoot that way just fine. I cannot shoot this way. Like, it just should go all the way over to this wall and stop over here. So I think I've got an idea of how to fix that. It should be relatively simple. Just need to implement it. And then, I don't know if you guys seen this while I'm here. There's my skeleton. I started working on him the other night with his head. I've got a sideways head. I've got a down head. I've got an up head for him. I've also created the bone for his, what is that, his left arm there when he is facing down, which he's not going to do now probably. When he faces down, he shows that bone structure. So I think creating him into a skeleton is going to be possible. It's just a lot of art. And art's not my strongest thing, but it's possible. And thank you Below the Stone, because your suggestions for the face helped a lot. I have joined my Discord server, Nightbot. Let's get out of this. Let's go back into that specific scene. So let's go project. Pull this off over here so I can work with it. Scenes. Hey Pineapple, how's it going? I'm doing pretty good tonight. So if I go here and find the skeleton, there it is. You can see I've got his one bone in there. Obviously it's not layered right, but that's fine. But you can see I did your suggestion Below the Stone where he's got a teeth area that's down there. It helps, just cutting off that whole mandible jaw line. The eye placement I'm not 100% satisfied with, but that's just the default eye placement because it almost looks like the red eyes are in the wrong spot. I don't know if I want to dig into changing that because that would change the animations and everything too. Discord it up, you what? So I have switched which Discord I'm using too, guys. When I'm streaming now, I have a stream voice in my Discord. I've considered community members that are worthy of being in it might be allowed in it at some point. I've learned my lesson from before that you can't just let anybody into a Discord voice server when you're streaming. It doesn't go well. Okay. Yeah. From experience, be careful who you let in. Like, make sure they're not the type of person that's gonna go into your stream channel and then just talk the entire time so you can't get a word in. I mean, you can. I'm down on a different channel now. I've got a group set up for it. Here, I'll let you. There, I've added you to the group, Pineapple. You can hop in here. I added you as well, Mike. I'll add Andrew to it if he ever wants to pop in here. So you should see another voice channel down the bottom. You might have to close and reconnect. I don't know if it requires that when you change permissions on somebody or not. I can just drag you down here too, Pineapple. That works. Hello.
Oh. This wasn't here before.
Let's see. Adjust your volume a little bit. You're quiet compared to my music for me. Here, say something now.
Hello.
Hello.
This channel wasn't here before.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I've got permission set up, so you have to have a special role to see it, basically.
Wait, hold on. Let me see. If I leave, do I still see it?
If you don't, let me know. Take it you couldn't see it.
No.
Let me look at the permissions and maybe I said them wrong. Let's see. This you can connect. You can speak.
Maybe it's on the channel side.
Right, I'm looking on channel. So, like
Oh,
I've got.
and maybe it's on role side. One of the two.
Right, this is the role-specific settings for this channel. So this channel, so the stream voice role which I gave you can connect and can speak, which is the voice permissions you need. I bet it's you just need to restart Discord. I've done it before on a different Discord server where,
But maybe
they wouldn't see it.
view
Right away.
channel is also something that you might want to look into. View channel, connect, and speak are probably the three.
View channel?
It's
Is that
right
even
above the connect in voice permissions.
It's not showing for me. So I've got connect and speak.
Oh,
Maybe it's under everyone only? You leave? Oh, we'll see if he comes back here. Maybe the channel settings are different? Just a sec, man. I'm looking at a different... There we go. You should be able to see it now.
oh,
There we go. So you were right. It is channel specific. What I was doing was editing the category.
oh.
So you had to get in there and fiddle with that. But anyway, welcome.
How come view and connect are separate? Because you can't. How can you give someone the ability to connect to something they can't see?
I think I found it.
Yeah, I was messing up. It's a good question.
Not being able to connect to a channel that you can see, but the other way around doesn't make any sense.
Unless it's like lets me drag you in or something like that. I think what it's doing.
Yeah, I think if I don't have permission to connect and you drag me in, I think it still lets me in. Because dragging, I think, trumps all the rules.
Yeah.
Anyways. So, have you decided if you're going to be releasing this game? I know it was last time I asked you weren't sure. You said if I get enough interest.
If I get enough interest, yeah, definitely, right? But also, it's so early in the scale of what I'm going for with this game. It's hard to say.
It
Like,
doesn't seem that early, to be honest. Like, you have a playable game.
I have a playable crappy game, and I don't
Yeah.
want to release a crappy game first off. Like, that's my big thing. If I'm not happy with it, I don't think it should be released. And there's a
Yeah.
couple reasons for that. So if I would want to do this, I would want to release it on Steam. And if you get a bunch of bad reviews on Steam, that's the death of you, especially as an indie dev, right? You're just not gonna have a good chance ever releasing another game.
Interesting.
That's my opinion, right? Like, it's gonna give you a bad name. And then, in addition to that, Steam themselves in their announcement about what they're gonna start working on for 2019 was machine learning is gonna be part of their store going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be a big piece of it too.
But
Like if
that's
this
gonna-
publisher
I
gets
haven't
bad
heard-
reviews, it's gonna not help, right? But
Right, I haven't actually heard any of the news regarding that, but I'm assuming that just means a search algorithm AI.
right, like which games it
That's how, like,
recommends to
YouTube
people.
and Google implement AI
Yeah.
typically.
And it makes sense that they would
Just
do
like
that. It's
curate
just
search results.
yes. But games that do well with that will actually sell. You know what I'm saying? Games that do poorly with that or don't get ranked well as a game that people like wouldn't sell nearly as much as games
Well,
that
the
do.
sweet spot for Steam would be to make as many games successful that people actually like as possible.
Right.
Spread the audience as thin as you can without the audience getting upset. That's the goal.
Right, and that's what I
Not
want to
like
try
dump
and
them all into the best game, but like dump a few of them into a bunch of good games, so you get more devs, so you get like more confidence in the whole system as a dev from the dev perspective.
yeah, but
Yeah.
at the same time, with this being my first one, I need the first one to stand out as something that's positive and not negative, because there's too many people that will go onto the Unity Asset Store, download a bunch of assets, and then just push it straight out and not really put any effort into it, and those get horrible reviews. So I'm trying to avoid that bad taste in people's mouth. Plus, while this is a playable game, it is like 3 scenes right now, and like I know this is like poop in terms of what it looks like, but I've got this area for towns kind of half baked. I've got the desert not even half baked, and then I've got 1 dungeon for the desert. I still need to build all these, at least these 3 other areas and this one up here, and the end area isn't even on this. Like, it's another section. So I've got a lot of tile map work to do for each of these scenes. And I'm not even happy with the size of the desert yet and things like that. So it's gonna be a lot of work for me on purpose. Like, if I'm going to release it, I'm going to release it in a way that is going to be, in my mind, worth what I would ask for it. Not that I'm going to ask like a bunch, but still, I wouldn't want it to be a 10-minute game, and that's not even what I have now, right?
Yeah. Just when you said 10-minute game, I always like wince at the thought of like all those people who put in like hundreds of hours into making a game that gets like speedrun in like 30 seconds.
Well, speedrun's different, right? Like, if you can figure out all the puzzles once and then go through it again in 30 minutes, you know, that's fine.
Yeah, but
great.
there's like one of the Super Mario World games or something where like people plug in multiple controllers to be able to input binary code directly into the game, like code inject using controllers, and they like get to the end game screen in like 16 seconds.
Yeah, by glitching it out. Yeah, I've seen that.
Jesus Christ. That is not what you want to see as a dev. I mean, the people doing it really fast and really efficiently, yes, but like breaking the engine.
So I would be okay with that though, because I would look at it as from the standpoint as someone wants to beat this bad enough, they enjoy this game enough that they're spending enough time on it to analyze like how it works to the level of like bytecode to figure out I need to push these 3 buttons on these extra controllers that weren't designed for the Super Nintendo so that I can write registry bits in to say jump to the end of the game by just kicking a Koopa or whatever it is they do, right? Like that. I'm geeky. I've seen those videos that you're talking about. They're interesting to me. So
I'll teach their own. I would not be happy. Someone like does one of my character like rolls weird into like a wall and it like clips him somehow. It checks all the like somehow all the global variables become like check marked. All the booleans are checked, and suddenly the game's over. I'd be like, well, that sucks.
I think there's a level of that will always happen though. Like somebody's gonna get a hex editor and just edit memory and stuff like that. They do that. They do it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not multiplayer. Now, if it's a multiplayer game, then that's different.
I gotta hide something in. Like if too many things get flipped too fast, and just completely melt down the game.
Kill the player.
Just like delete
Hi,
random
Division.
NPCs, delete random lines of code.
Nope. Let's jump into this.
So I had a bunch of ice cubes and all of mine have melted, so I have to replenish them.
Okay. So the item drop piece that we've got going right now. So that was one of the things on my Trello board. So Trello, item enemy drops needs to be randomized what's going to drop. And that's to a degree, but I think it's more randomized if it's going to drop. So we've got this item drop prefab. Where is the inventory for this guy though? Let me pull it up. Maybe it's on a different script, I think. Yep, loot. Loot options. What? Did I really create 2 different scripts for... I might have. Oh, I don't remember that loot script at all like that. There was an item inventory we set up. Seeker. Projectile hit. Where is this thing? Item drop prefab. That's the key. Thought we set it to an inventory. Did I dream that? Come on, just give me the item drop prefab. Right, okay. So we are doing an inventory. And right now I just hard-coded it to be a key. So we need to set up an inventory on this entity. And that entity then, like, we could set it by default, or we can set maybe a flag on the AI interact script that says just randomize the drop between X items. That would work. Okay, so let's do that. So this inventory that we're doing here, we need to move this up and out of here so it can be serializable. Serialized field, that, and we'll call it drop inventory. And down in our code that's now airing off, we'll say drop inventory instead. Okay. Save and then make sure we can see it in the inspector. We should be able to once it compiles. It's not a
Is it completely
serialized.
preposterous to drink orange juice with ice cubes in it?
I don't think so. But I like cold drinks significantly more than warm drinks.
Well, it was already cold as it was out of the fridge, but like, I feel like some people would get offended by like diluting orange juice with ice cubes.
If you drink it fast, it's
Like
not
whiskey
diluting it.
Or I should have put, oh man, I should freeze actual oranges and put those in there like ice cubes, like orange slices.
Let me look up something, because I'm pretty sure there's a way we can do this. Inventory, serializable. Oh, not no. Unity, serializable.
You know how many bits?
Yes. I do not until now. Thank you. Pity for the king. System serializable. That's what I was looking for.
I hope that that one bit has secured me an early access copy.
It's not my top bit of all time. It's just a top bit for now.
Damn.
One of my friends, he was just like, he was like 1-bit me left and right for a while.
Yeah. I also like people who expect free stuff or discounts because they think they're closer. Like the friendlier someone gets, the more they expect a discount is like the most backwards logic ever. I feel like people who become more and more friendly with people should want to support them more, hence not ask for discounts or free stuff.
Yeah. And I would say that people that have stuck around the most and like contributed ideas and things like that are more likely in my mind to get a early access copy to help me test, kind of thing, just because like you're part of it at that point, right?
Yeah.
Indirectly.
But I'm a huge non-believer in friends and family discount. I feel like friends and family should pay double.
You know me. You know what I've done to get to this point. Please pay me more.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you like me so much, why don't you pay more? Why would a stranger have to pay more than someone who actually wants me to succeed?
The class makes better. Thought this is how you did it, but oh, I bet it is. Crap.
Below the stone. Losers working on their game privately, not even streaming it. Incredible. How selfish of them. It's cool that you're working on Monster Loot, or are you working on Monster Loot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there you go.
Already got some working, but it was basically hard coded to always drop a key, which is not what I want. So I'm trying to get it to be a little bit more dynamic so I can set up on a specific monster in the world what I want him to drop or allow it to be randomized. And I will be able to do that if I can get this drop inventory to show in the inspector, but it's not. So the example I'm looking at basically says to put this in the script. And it is, if I can find the right window. So this is
just dragged NPC loot tables into my Trello thing 2 hours ago in the to-do
did you?
at the top of the list.
So I'm keeping my whole inventory system very, very basic. Like, they're just Boolean values. As in, this thing has this sword or bow or whatever. And that's my inventory. Like, I'm not going to keep track of which slot that something's in. Instead, the GUI will be the opposite of that. It's each item will have a fixed slot, and it's either going to show the thing or not.
Legend of Zelda did it, or like Ocarina of Time, I think.
It's
I remember
how
when you used to open your inventory, your items would just be in random places, in random slots, because those were like their predestined slots.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm basing it off of. A Link to the Past did the same thing, and it works great for what I'm going for, right? It's just not needed to be able to move it around because I'm gonna have, let's say, 24 items in this game by the time it's done.
Yeah, having a different system is only worth it if you intend on letting the player buy and sell stuff.
And even
more
then,
specifically, buy stuff.
I could still do that with this system because the other piece of, besides the Boolean values is like the number of keys you have is just an integer on this specific field, or the number of credits you have, or the number of arrows or bombs and stuff like that that you might have.
Right.
They're just going to be stored as an integer, and you either have it or don't. So
I guess it's all good.
the downside to this is it's not as flexible to add new items, right? So modding support, basically. What were you saying?
No, nothing. I was just gonna say my inventory system is like a half measure between what you have and like a high tech one. I have everything except for the slots, like auto sorting themselves. Like, so when you drop something from fourth slot, it's just now the fourth slot is empty, and the fifth one could have something in it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I have to write a thing that goes through every slot again and checks if it's empty, and if it is, like, move everything up. So copy and paste and copy and paste and copy and paste all the way up, or cut and paste, I guess, the values. Pain in the ass.
So just because I don't have it as a generic class, that was it. Awesome. Okay, so that breaks other things, but this is what was wrong. So you have to define it not as a mono behavior, the system serializable class. It just needs to be a regular class. then you can reference that class in another mono behavior as a public or serializable field, and it will show up with all the attributes of that class as a drop-down menu in the inspector. So now I can say he has bow, right? That's his drop. The problem is my inventory was used in other places as a mono behavior. But where? It doesn't tell me really. Okay. Guess I need to look at this. I also need to step away and get my dog for a moment. So I will be right back.
Yeah. Wait. Can the stream hear me? They should have deafened the Discord. So here I'm working on a key. This is a key. This key is going to be the key used to open the... Oh, thank you so much for the bits. Really appreciate it. If you could just toss me a few more bits, that'd be great. 2 more bits, please. Anyways, I was saying this key. So right now I'm working on a key. It's going to be a pretty important key. Once we get the game more fleshed out, you're going to get to really see how impactful this key becomes. But let me tell you, you won't readily forget this key. Yeah? What do you mean stream takeover? I don't even know what you're saying, what you mean by that.
You're streaming for me. They can hear you. I'm back.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should have deafened Discord when it's unattended. Who knows what I could have.
I'm used to being in here with trusted friends, so.
Yeah, I was monologuing about how important this key is.
That's right. I've taken it over. I've also got my camera instead of his.
I got 2 bits. Apparently, I'm worth more.
What? The bit war's on.
Oh man, can't handle another bit war.
You were one of the people that were part of the bit war on his channel, right?
Yeah, I was supposed to have won the bit war until someone hit me with a 1,000 bit nuke.
Right. And then doubled it up with like another 500 or 600 or something, didn't they? Like just a few minutes later, they dropped another one.
Bo was like, well, no, we were dropping thousands. Like we were up to like 1,600 each, and then the guy who was just one-upping everyone, just 1 bit higher, 1 at a time. Every time he would put 1 to one-up me, I'd put like 50 or 100. So I thought I could just keep dropping hundreds until he stops. And then randomly he just put 1,000. I was like, well, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna put another like 1,100. They're not worth it. The below the stone people. 1,100 bits. That's like an hour of working at McDonald's. That's a lot of biddies.
Sorry, so how did this one do it?
Besides, I heard the below the stone devs are racist towards elves. They're not even gonna have an elf in the game at all. Even like ironically, to be a laughing stock.
At least have a statue.
No, I don't think he's gonna even make a statue. He's just repulsed by elves. Nothing will budge. Honestly, I like elves better than dwarves. Maybe you should make your game about elves, and we'll see who gets more sales.
Well, some of their hats kind of look like elves.
I was gonna say, you guys kind of resemble like elves to begin with. They're kind of like tall and lanky.
Nope. Division, I will sell this game if I think it's worth selling. So, hopefully. You think I'd waste my time adding elves to my game, you filthy elf apologist? Okay.
You see what he says?
Jeez. After all those bits and he says things like this. Why is this one going to give me an error? I don't understand. I don't even know if I need this to set this way. I mean, I could if I'm dropping a special item. That's probably why I did it, but... How am I going to find all the places that this is an issue? Your version of Andrew. So wait, you're not doing the development yourself? I thought you were doing development too.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like it's my version of Andrew. It's you know, I'm doing all the work and he's doing nothing.
Oh,
In that sense.
I thought you meant there's someone else that was the programmer, and you were doing the art.
I'm doing
Wow.
the program, but just barely. He's a writer.
Okay.
By nature, so he's just writing gibberish all day long.
There's only so much you can write about a game, though, right? I mean,
No, it's a lot. We're like at 100 pages deep. We're not even. We're still going.
is it like dialogue or something?
Yeah, dialogue, screen direction, like specifically what is going to appear in cinematics, all that stuff.
Oh wow.
Because like, we want to write out what all the cinematics and cutscenes look like before we start making them.
Oh, Andrew's here now.
Andrew's here.
I'm putting this down. Who's a roasting game? What?
Well, none of the roast is written, so there is no evidence.
Oh, that'll work. What was it? No, that won't work. Is there any way in Unity to say, give me all the occurrences of a script on different game objects?
Beats me. Everything Unity beats me. I'm Javaing it up.
That's right. That's right. That was you.
Technically, it's like HTML5. It's a bit of a train wreck, but gonna be a majestic train wreck.
Graphics in Java is not fun. Did a Minecraft mod. Not fun. Like, I get why I'm getting errors. It's gotta be because... It's gotta be because, like, these items have the... what's the word I'm looking for? A monoscript. They're expecting it to be a monoscript, and it's not a monoscript anymore. Put it back, I guess, and then get rid of the errors. Mono behavior. Errors should go away. They did. And it was on item drop. Jeez. Which isn't even in the scene. But the skeleton has an item drop. Here. On the prefab. and it's got an inventory here, so I could get rid of this, I guess, and merge it into this script instead. That would work. Because we're getting a component of the inventory, and we don't need to do that anymore because we'll basically set that inventory on that object, the my inventory. So, no longer require this. No longer need to do this.
Alright. My keyboard is obnoxious, so usually when I type a lot, I have to mute my Discord.
Ah.
I shouldn't have bought such a cheap mechanical keyboard.
I have an expensive mechanical keyboard and it's still loud.
Well,
It's
why
just
not
how
get
they
like
are.
the quietest one?
Got like a Razer Stealth something or another and it's still loud. That should work. So there's no other references to the other inventory. And then on this, we can get rid of this. It doesn't even have key count set. It doesn't have anything set. There's no point in having it. Remove. Save. Okay, what you gonna complain about now? When I do this. Nothing really? Nice. Okay. So that's for this scene probably, I imagine. Let me try another scene here, one that's got the player. Because that player, I believe I put an inventory on. Scenes. Always loaded. Yep. Instant errors. So instead of having a separate inventory class, which isn't going to be shown here, script. So this one is not working, it's saying, right? We need to find on all of these scripts what inventory it's referencing and put it somewhere else. So let's start. We'll start with this one, but I don't think it's going to need inventory. It is. Is that going to be our home for it? The player GUI script? Or do we use it in player controller? I doubt it. Let's do this. So in here, if we do where used, isn't there a way we can do that? Call hierarchy. Come on. There's no call hierarchy? There should be something. So an item drop, which we already fixed to not have the inventory script get component, blah, blah, blah. On death does it in this line. We're at here, come on. And call merge somewhere, right? 2 drops. Get loot. It's going to return the loot options, okay. It's looking for player inventory, which is set by an inventory by finding the object on there. So it would really only be changing this line of code to fix it. So if we put on our not player controller. Tempted to do this player GUI instead.
Let's see what you got going on here. Sorting. Big sorting hat.
It's either going to be player controller or the GUI script.
So you reference a bow in your inventory. Are you going to have some fancy range combat?
Yeah, I've already got the bow working. Like, you
Oh.
can fire it just by right-clicking.
Oh.
Doesn't take into account if you have arrows or anything like that, but or if you have the bow, it just works. Just say this game like appears like it might be a game, but it's not a game yet.
Well, I mean, you know, all games have a different take on realism.
Yeah, but those are all things I want to have in it. Like, you need arrows, and you need to actually find the bow in the world to use the bow. So my whole take on the inventory is going to be basically you select which thing in your inventory you want to be your primary weapon and your secondary weapon. So
So that's left and right click.
exactly. Or if you
Yeah,
had a
straightforward.
controller, you know, Xbox controller or something, you could use Fire 1 and 2. So, okay, let's just go with using it here as the inventory place. So on this player GUI script, so anywhere where we're using the inventory other places, like in this script, if we can get it open again. Set open. Yeah, so here, where we're defining that, up here we need to call this, but get component of player GUI, and then say dot inventory or get inventory, whatever. Oh, you got a picture for us.
What is this?
Oh my.
Oh my god.
Do 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 do. Remember, he's your business partner, man.
Well, at the rate it's going, maybe it's not going to be a business. You got to get a second Andrew in the works. You need two Andrews for every one Mike. I think that's the chemical balance. Chemically neutral
Oh,
equation.
okay. Well, like, not necessarily second Andrew. I think that might spiral.
And then 3. So you counteract the spiraling nature of it. You have 3 of them.
They do debating each other all day long how to do things, right?
No, you keep them in solitary away from each other.
Divvy up the work.
You can only let them communicate to each other by commenting in different builds of the game. So they have to fight in the comments of the actual script. That's gonna be real clean. At least the game's gonna be very well commented. There'll be more comments than actual lines of code.
Jimmy doesn't know what he's talking about. This is how this piece of code should work.
Yeah, everything. Like there's like 3 games worth of code, but they're all commented out. Every system has like 3 different ways that it's written, but 2 of them are commented out.
Let's just do it this way.
That sounds reasonable.
I should-
Maybe you just made too much art, Mike, and you're way too ahead of the curve. Just go on a 3-month vacation. Let Andrew catch up.
put a lot of polish into there. Okay, so where is the inventory script that's now like defunct on this thing, so I can get rid of it? Is it hiding in front of my face? No. Wait, we still in air? We are, but let's just make sure it's still an error. Okay, what else in this scene has an inventory? There's player inventory. It's not that. It's none of those. I do just no T. How do you do it? There's something you can search by type, but I don't know if it works for components. No. Where else would it be? Script, there it is. Clear. Space save. Yay. Okay, so that one's clean now. Main menu shouldn't have anything. Where's there? Overworld. Chest. Okay. Honestly, this is going to cause me more headache than it's worth. We're going to have this many different objects to edit. Come on, open the chest one. Do you get a reference to the inventory? You get a reference to player inventory and my inventory. So we can get rid of this.
Player inventory and my inventory.
Yeah, so I can edit the player's inventory when he opens the chest. Really don't need that at all. And this becomes serializable. And there you go. So now I can say, you know, this chest has that. Check the console window to get more insights. What needs to be fixed? Autosave has been temporarily disabled. Awesome. You're trying to create a prefab or instance from Tree Chest that contains script inventory, which does not have derived from monitor behavior. This is not allowed. Aha! Crap. Change. Wait, it's because it's still on here. I never took it off, but it's not showing. There it is. So now can we save this? Let's clear all you errors. Save. There we go. Yeah, it's just because that script was still attached. Now how do I turn autosave back on?
Hopefully it auto turns itself back on when you can successfully save again.
I hope you're right, but we'll find out.
We're
So.
checking though.
No idea if it's saving it or not. I guess it's not putting the star there, so I'm assuming it's saving it then? Yeah, the star goes away. So it puts a little asterisk there to indicate that it's changed and then goes away. Okay, so let's trigger another build. I gotta sneeze. No!
I got a time when you sneeze. Hello everyone, welcome to my stream. Thank you so much for being here. I'm working on a, you see here, oh no, it's a well, sorry. I got confused in my own game for a second. But anyways, I'm going to be working on this well. It has a little bucket. I actually plan to be able to harvest water.
It's really hard
Oh,
to
I
make my
see.
lips match up to your voice.
I thought you were talking. And I was like, oh, what's going on?
I'm back. I never went anywhere. I just muted myself so you didn't have to listen to me sneeze, and then I didn't end up sneezing, but whatever. Okay, so this scene's good. So overworld's good. Go into another scene. Lock this. Okay, so always loaded. No errors. Cave one.
Who's this below the stone guy fooling? He says we're in some private call to do some work, and then he just like chats away all day in this chat. Who does he think he's fooling? Also, on a side note, look at this guy's pixel art. I really like this thing.
I'm gonna. Oh, nice.
There's a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff.
I guess it would be nice to put the guy's name on there too, huh? That is pretty cool. So I'm going through and just opening every scene. And nothing else is giving me errors, so yay. Let's see if we've broken everything, because we probably did. Start the game. Hey, it didn't crash, that's good.
Ooh, that button's fancy.
Yeah.
Well, what's that? There's like a portal, like a
This door?
it's like a portal to another dimension, and it has a lock.
Yeah, it's the door for the dungeons I was testing.
Whoa,
Come on.
that guy. So the arrows right now are just shooting in a straight line, and you plan to like have them. I guess you really can't because you're doing 4 directions, right? So you can't
Four
have them
directions.
shoot diagonally because then it's like,
Correct.
how the hell?
Yeah. And I think he might have been dropping a key, but he didn't die. Because there was a ton of keys on the ground.
Damn, look at that guy. You know, if I was looking at him, I wouldn't even think he's a hostile at all. I'm just like, oh, look, he's a nice man with a nice hat. Then he starts blasting me with arrows. Whoa, what's all that?
Yeah, that's the
Holy shit.
bugs.
He left a trail of infinite keys.
I cannot get to... It's not getting the component inventory on the player anymore. Because it doesn't exist as a component. We need to do player GUI instead. See, this would be where it'd be real nice if that call hierarchy actually worked. And told me everywhere. Dot in player inventory. So why can't I see all of the places that this is referenced? Find all references. There we go. Make it bigger. There we go. So we're creating a new inventory there. That should be okay. Okay. That's fine. It's basically what we're going to call get inventory or get component inventory. That's going to be a problem. Like this. So on death. This is on the enemy, which we've moved that to what? Just an inventory object. Drop inventory. But we're instantiating the game object. Okay, so we need to look at the code for the game item drop piece and get this instead, so public. Just say this. Okay. And then on this one, we're getting the players, so we can do player GUI. Go away. Dot player inventory. Don't really like the fact that it's named player GUI, but I'm gonna deal with it for now. Okay, let's try this again. Let's see if he drops 600 keys. Compiler errors, really? It's clear. This one's real. Game object does not condition from my inventory, right? Because we didn't cast it. Something apparently.
What's the story behind that well? Are you gonna be able to get the water from there?
It's decoration. That's the sole thing it's there for.
Why not get some water? Add a has water variable boolean.
I might as I expand the story. See, I don't have a fancy writer that's writing 600 things.
Have a quest say like, hey, get me some water, and you go, all right. And you have to go to the well and get some water. That's pretty in-depth storyline. Or you could say, my wife, she's sick. She needs water. That's one step up.
Yeah.
And to get to the premium level quest content, you're gonna have to
the premium DLC.
Get out your checkbook. Then we can really break down why there's water, why you need to get it. The 30-page, a quick 30-page screenplay revolving around water from that well, poisoning the locals, and the conspiracy to cover it up.
You go for the Platinum DLC pack, which will be about $5,000.
Whoa!
You'll be able to.
That's like Star Citizen level.
Take hydrogen and oxygen and combine them, and then.
No, not even that. Well, yeah, maybe combine them with like nuclear fusion to create infinite power for the entire universe in that game. Infinite power.
Completely bypass the game story. You just have infinite power available to you at all times.
But you open up a new story wherein a menacing villain from a distant galaxy is searching for exactly what you created.
The real moral of the story is you are the evil being that's the antagonist of my whole storyline. You just didn't realize it.
You kill the antagonist. You kill the guy who comes to collect what you're collecting, but you find out after you kill him that actually he was the defender of the universe, and now you're unchecked.
No, you find out that it was you all along. Just an alternate timeline.
Oh my god, yeah. The moment you did the crazy nuclear fusion, you separated yourself into many different timelines.
That would be such a messed up story in a game. Like, infuse time travel into the story itself.
Why do you
like,
think all the...
have, and they've driven me nuts. It's quite interesting that somehow my mob has gotten into the place which you should be able to walk into. He is walking everywhere he shouldn't walk, and only there, because it's just like an edge collider that Unity uses. So like, once you cross it, you can't get back. Amazing. Well, everything worked. Like, I was able to kill the mob and pick up the item and all that stuff. Well, I guess we could check a chest. Let's pop down a chest here. Actually, there is one here. Just can't see it for some reason. It's our grid's Y level. Where's the order? 0. Set 1. There we go. And what items do you have? You will have 1 key. Well, I've got the key, but he didn't play his animation, which is concerning. Run! Run! He's going to kill you! Mainly wanted you to run because I didn't want you to spam the console with airs. All speed stuff. Cool. So we need to check the item or the chest open code, basically. Chest interaction script. Okay. There we go. Open, set open. We're merging my inventory into the player's inventory. We're setting display item.
Those trees in your game are incredible. They're thick.
Yeah, some of them are. Like these ones over here. What? Okay. Yeah, I refreshed it and it seems to be trying to do something now. Oh no, I'm dropping frames. Womp, womp, womp. Why though? Now we're back. So it's this display item. Inventory display. We don't even have open, do we? You are right, that is a clicky keyboard.
It's awful. It's the worst. Also because this mic is like probably a little bit too sensitive. Because I could be on the other side of the room and still be talking with it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I tried going back to a regular membrane keyboard and it's just so bad.
Oh, yeah, I would never go back to a memory keyboard now.
But it's crazy because before I had a mechanical keyboard, I thought it was fine, but now it's bad. It's like when I tried really good pizza. I was like, yeah, this is okay. Then I tried bad pizza and I was like, whoa, this is way worse than I remember. My standards seem to be set without, like, you don't feel the standards being raised until you go back, and then it's very apparent.
And you just touched on why I don't want to make a crappy game. Like when someone plays a good game and then they play a crappy game, they know what a crappy game is.
Yeah, but I feel like already, if you just release what you got right now, it'd already be better than most crappy games.
You must have played some seriously crappy games then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
I bought games for like 30 cents on Steam. And they're not games.
I don't
They're
get.
games as far as Steam knows, as far as Steam is concerned, but they're not.
Yeah, and Steam gets 5 cents off that, so they don't care.
Well, plus $100.
Oh, true, just from the developer signing up. Yeah. Is that per game or is that per?
Yeah, it's per game,
Wow.
per title. I think it's per. I think it might even be a case where it's on a, because I know it says per title, but I don't know if that means like even if you add DLC, because that's separate. That's like a separate title technically in the store.
Oh yeah. But for the companies that are adding DLC, it's probably worth it for them. So they don't. $100 is nothing. So like, if
Yeah.
it's 30 cents times what?
Well, I mean, some
7
people have a lot of DLC. Some games, like a lot.
Yeah. So you'd have to sell 480 copies just to break even on the $100 Steam fee, plus whatever little work they did into the assets and graphics and whatever advertisement write-up and all that stuff.
Yeah, you have to factor in income tax too, because
Oh, true.
all the revenue you get from that you have to declare as income. Well, depending on your laws in your country or your state or whatever.
Yeah. Some Nigerian country that doesn't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Switzerland. Be a Swiss game designer. 0% tax. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they have pretty high income tax in Switzerland, actually. But capital gains tax probably doesn't exist in Switzerland.
Is that why Mojang was... They're Swiss, aren't they? Swiss or...
Not sure.
Some...
European country.
No, this is... Gosh, what's the region for like Swiss and Norway and all of
You're
them?
thinking of Scandinavian. But
Yes,
Switzerland
some
is
Scandinavian company.
not a part of those. Switzerland's like right in the middle of Europe. Scandinavian's like the north guys. Like Denmark, Sweden, Finland.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I am thinking something else. Why isn't he displaying his item when he gets an item? This is my script to do that. Okay. And it's taking what? Item found object. Getting a sprite
Whoa,
render
who's
on
that?
that.
Is that a new model for the character?
What, this
Or is
guy?
it the same one?
It's similar.
Oh,
For the main character.
looks different.
He's got a camera and a Cinemachine logo over top of it.
Well, yeah, I see that, but I didn't. Well, I guess something happened to my memory. It got warped. I don't remember him looking like that.
Yeah, that's my main character. Didn't even get that.
So apparently the most silent mechanical keyboard is the Cherry MX Black Silent.
It's probably a pretty penny too.
Not so bad. 110 USD.
It's not so bad. I wonder if it has the mechanical feel to it though. So that was one of my concerns when I got my stealth mechanical keyboard. Was, is it going to feel like one? It does, but it's not very stealth. It's very loud, so you can probably hear it there.
Yeah. So apparently the Matthias Quiet Pro is this guy's pick because it still feels like a mechanical keyboard, but it's the quietest. Let me see how much dollars it costs.
How much
Well, since I'm a Canadian man, it costs me
extra dollars?
$65. That's a lot. It's not a little.
That's Canadian rupees, right?
Yeah, they're the red and white ones.
Mhm.
You guys have an extra blue in yours. American rupees. That
had to have worked. So it would return the key no matter what if it was null. So if I didn't set the inventory, it should be still be null. Or it should have gave me a message. It would set the time to live. Why didn't you work? Why didn't you even play the animation? Okay, let's just clear this thing. Let's play this again. Start. Let's go over here. No, you need to die first. Don't touch the key. Let's pause, clear the console. Click on it. Hit E. Oh, he did the animation. Okay. To do add loot giving here. But I already did that, I think. I did that down here. So you're no longer a valid message. So set open. We're getting my inventory and setting the player
Why
inventory
did
to
you make
merge.
the guy so hard? You almost die every time.
Yeah, I know.
Why did you make him so hard?
He has no cooldown yet on his ability to attack, so he just spammy when you're in line.
I love how you like tested out your own health. You're like, oh, okay, so I can die and health works and everything, but I'll just keep it like that so that I'm gonna die sometimes when I'm trying to test something else. What the hell? You need like a debug mode, you know, where your health is not effective.
That sounds like too much of an idea.
Toggle on and off your health.
I'm constantly playtesting it.
Or at least like toggle on and off arrow collision for you. Or something.
That's sure I could do that. That'd be pretty easy. Inventory display.
Give you an edge. So that mysterious man guarding the Well of Triumph doesn't keep killing you.
He's not even going to be there in the final version of the game. That's the funny thing.
That's what you think.
What you said,
That's
I'm going
what
to ship
he's
it and
there.
forget he's there. That's very possible.
It's always going to be there in our memories.
Wow. That would explain why it didn't work. If that's really it. No, okay, it's not. Key count is 1.
If you leave that guy in and you ship the game, that'd be the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Ooh.
People spawn in and almost die. Oh, they wouldn't almost die. They would guarantee their death. You know,
Yeah.
if the first like 5 seconds of the game you're expected to beat that guy without knowing any of the controls or anything.
And like the first seconds of the game, you will have no weapon, not even a sword. The first thing you'll get is a
Oh,
sword,
yeah.
and then eventually get the bow. I have yet to successfully beat that man with just a sword.
You gotta hide a bow in that well. When you go up to the well, you get a bow. Are you gonna be like Stardew Valley, where this guy hides Easter eggs all over his game, but he doesn't even tell anyone about it?
I'd like to, but I'm streaming
There's
the
like,
whole
no,
thing.
there's not even a hint about it. You just have to like go to a random thing and drop like a parsnip, and something happens. Like
Yeah.
super obscure secrets.
Like seriously, I would like to do those kind of things, but I'm just struggling with how do I do those and test them and all this without making this so I don't stream 90% of the game. Like I would put a lot in if I did that.
Just don't stream when you add it. You know, test it. Like test the concept in a closed environment. Like
Yeah.
just test it. Oh, fuck. Just test it. You know, not where it's gonna be, and then don't stream where you end up putting it.
Yeah. I guess.
But I mean, I think people who really want to know could find out. I guess with data mine your whole game.
Gosh, I would want to do that. They're
I'm
welcome
so
to do
afraid
so.
if
though.
anyone ever data mines my game, I have to like I'm like triple checking even what I'm writing in the comments just to make sure I don't write anything profane. Because, you know, you never know. You never know who's watching.
Wouldn't the compiler like remove the comments though?
Who knows? Who knows?
Although if you're doing a web game, that's kind of different, I guess. Not compiled necessarily. So calling the item display, we're setting the open, we're saying display this item, F12. That's going to get the sprite render for the item, and it's going to be the in inventory, which is the my inventory of the chest. That is the only thing that's serialized here. So that is the inventory that we should see in the inspector. So we're setting my inventory there. So that's what we're passing to the display item. Display item is saying get sprite render. And it's going to be a key. Is that one? That time I actually sneezed. Okay, so it's going to go back to this.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, I muted myself. I have a hotkey on my Stream Deck that clears my mic and my video at the same time. And Discord.
Wow. I'm just, oh, welcome to my game, everybody. How's it going? No, it didn't work. I think something horrible happened, wherein you muted your Discord somehow. Or...
What?
Oh, now you're back.
Oh, was Discord cutting out?
There was nothing happening in Discord at all. It was as if you were gone.
I was quiet for a minute while I was thinking. I can be quiet.
I saw your stunt double talking in the Twitch.
Oh. My inventory. My inventory's got a key count of 1. Let's step into this code. Where are we here? Okay. Step into get sprite. We are going to return
gone?
Key. Which guy?
The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I deactivated him.
I turned him off.
Yeah.
Damn it. Who's guarding the well now? Nobody.
You? Yeah, I can, you know. It's getting the direction. Yep, that's alright. It's playing the get item. Display item's done. It's gonna clear the inventory of the chest. Got it open. And going into various different updates after that. Okay. So on item display then, if we put a lock on this, or a breakpoint on this, just hit continue. Time to live is 1. 0.01, okay. It's not showing it yet though. Why? Continue. Item found spot is set to a key sprite. It's enabled. It is enabled. Why are you not displaying? You've got the sprite. You've got turned on in the inspector. Okay, pause the game. Come on. I can't do it quick enough, can I? Can't control Unity at all right now. Crap. And it's already gone, probably. It's showing there. Oh my gosh. Is that what's wrong? It was working. The Z order, or the order in layers off.
There you go. Can you believe that?
Not really. I mean, I can, but not really. Like, that's becoming a reoccurring theme where the order in layer is causing bugs. Like, things are just disappearing. Hey, look at that. There's the key again.
The key.
There he shows the key now. Yay, it's working. So, it had nothing to do with the change I actually made. It was just... I think at one time I had the ground at a different Y order. Or Z order, I mean. And that was allowing it to show.
You gotta have some stuff to auto Z order in the right order.
Right, that's the script I added to fix it, basically. It's taking the Y coordinate of the player and setting it as the order and layer, basically, based on some multiplication of the Y, so that we can have some variety. Some things can be in front, some things can be back. Cool, it's working. Okay, so all that so we can go over to our knight and say, let's enable you again. And let's, on this, the inventory, let's drop a bow instead, even though it's not going to look like a bow.
You should give the character a has water boolean, but never do anything with it as an homage to the
stream.
Water well.
Ha! He dropped our bow, which looks like a lever right now. Awesome.
Let me see this guy. This stream is much more delayed than it used to be, so I'm still catching up. Oh yeah, there it is. There's the bow.
So, sword. Sword should be a different item. Of course, the well's in the way. Yay, he dropped that, which isn't a... Cool.
Now you got to factor in a random factor.
Right, so that would be what I would do if everything is 0 or false in that case. Or I should say it differently. I should only do that if there's multiple selected, and then it picks one at random.
Mm-hmm.
So, how would we do which one it's going to choose, I guess? Just create it right in the inventory script, and then whenever I need to random, it's going to use the same method that works. Public. Oh, we're still
Although,
attached.
like, is that even something you need? Would you ever have a monster that has like a bow and a sword or whatever? And
Probably not those two specific things, but it might be
oh yeah, like potion or coin or whatever.
right, or a random amount of given coins, or maybe he's got a heart. I don't know.
Well, then you gotta have a whole
arrows
thing
and such.
to set how much coins he has, right? Not just a boolean.
Right, so what I was thinking was if it picks that one, it's going to pick a random number from 0 to the number it's set at.
You should have the variable, have the actual object, like the skeleton, have the min and max values on it, so you could pick from that. So you can actually dynamically kind of set. You could have skeletons in one area, drop more coins and skeletons in a different area.
Yeah, and what I said would work, right? So if I set it so that it's between 0 and whatever I set it at for that specific mob, it would pick
Mm-hmm.
based on what they set that specific mob up at, basically. Oh, public, without caps lock. Then return it inventory, I think.
Or if we had a level 10 rider here, you would say instead of dropping coins, you have to, he drops bones, and you take the bones to a bonesmith that exchanges the bones for coins.
Oh, yeah. More grindy.
Why would a skeleton have coins?
Because he killed someone else that had coins.
Where does he put them?
In his skeleton purse. My skeleton would probably have a shirt on or something, I think.
Yeah, but what's the motivation of the skeleton? He knows he can't ever use those coins. No vendor would.
They're
accept his
shiny.
business.
Have you never seen Pirates of the Caribbean? When they get in the moonlight?
They didn't want the coins. They wanted to get the coins away, but they didn't want them anymore.
But they're pirates. They want the booty.
Until the booty made them skeletons.
Okay,
And
I've seen them.
they realized-
It's been a long time and I don't remember them that well. I remember the
Well,
coins you're
the
talking
others-
about, but I don't remember what the hell
They
they...
got the coins, and the coins gave them a curse that made them undead.
But they didn't want to get rid of the coins, though. They wanted to get them all back, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they
So
didn't
they
want
could
to have
undo
them
the
anymore.
curse.
They wanted to put them all back where they came from.
Yeah. So there you go.
The plot was they were trying to find the last one.
That's our story then. So the story is going to be... They're trying to collect all the coins. That's why they're after the player.
Right.
So they can undo their curse.
But at one point, I mean, at the beginning point, you have to start the player off with some coins then, because then it won't make sense. Why would the skeleton come after you if you don't have any coins? If he's the first skeleton you encountered, why would you have any coins?
He doesn't know you don't have any coins.
Well,
He
how
just
does-
kills
oh,
everyone until he
oh,
finds
they
coins.
just assume, yeah, they assume anyone can have coins. We have to kill everyone.
Yep.
Wow. It's a very tormented skeleton logic.
Works for me.
Surprised they can't even do logic, considering that they don't have any organic
It's part of the curse.
component in their head that processes thoughts and logic. It's the curse of the well. Someone, oh yeah, you know how people throw coins in wells to wish for stuff? That's what happened. The skeletons went in there and they took all the coins out and they got cursed.
You really want that well to have something in the story, don't you?
It already does. It already does. It's like the first thing you see when you start.
Oh, that
And we
won't be the
both
start
know that
point.
The starting area. No, I was just gonna say.
That's just what it is for now.
Well,
Like, you'll be in that town, but it'll probably be within a house.
you'll probably have a well too, though. That's the thing.
Inside
For
the
some
house?
reason, every town in this village has. Every town in this civilization has. It's always guarded by a
Skeletons.
guy that can shoot really fast. Bow.
So the actual story for the game is that basically evil wizard is possessed the king and causing him to do evil decrees to...
Where did the wizard come from? This isn't canon.
No, this is canon.
I haven't seen any trace of a wizard other than the logs, the stumps that have all been cleaved, and the rocks that have all been cleaved. But that could have been done by the skeletons in search for coins.
Cleaving is Unity being crappy. I don't know how
That's
it
not
actually
canon.
happened.
There's no unity in this universe.
How can I pick a random bool? I can pick a number from like 0 to number of bools I have, but that doesn't guarantee that that bool is true. I only want to know the number that are true, so I'd have to get a count of how many are true first.
Well, I mean, why don't you just... Well, can't you make it... I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about, but can't you make it go based on after the thing has been called to get the bow and the thing? So you could say something like, you know, if the function calls for bow and arrow or whatever, then do something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Am I doing this in the right spot too? So maybe I need to do it on the item drop class. Like it needs to figure out which one to pick. That would make sense. Because it's just assuming the inventory is set to 1.
I'm stuck doing it all with fucking arrays. All the inventory and all that stuff.
This has just got more complicated than I wanted it to be. Making
You
it
can always
random.
make enemies one trick ponies. They only can drop 1 item.
Yeah. I kind of would like the option of them being able to drop a heart randomly, though.
You
To
could
heal you.
program that in separately though.
Sure.
Random chance on death to drop heart. Just completely make that have nothing to do with the inventory.
I'll look to see if there's empty inventory, I guess.
Well, I mean, some games, like in Zelda, when you break a pot, you might get a rupee and a heart. I think.
Did it
So I
drop
think the
both?
heart thing is like, well, in the early ones, I don't think so, but in the new ones, I'm pretty sure
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe the new ones.
they like.
Yeah, that was the reason for my question. The old ones, they had a limit
the
in
old
how many
ones.
sprites you had on the screen, so that'd be a no-no for them to like drop too many things at once. Old games. Gosh, I could do the count of how many of them are true, but it's just annoying. So int count, right, and then just equals 0 and just a bunch of if statements. So if key count, come on, caps lock, key count that's greater than 0, count plus plus, right? That's all there is to it, but it's just a bunch of if statements to write. So if that count plus plus. And it's just cut and paste at this point, I guess. Has bow. Has scorpion tail. Boom. And then we return count. And then we can say here min equals int min equals that, not that. Count items. There we go. That still doesn't tell me which one to pick. So if I get a random number between 0 and max, which is our count of our items that we have on this. So let's say we had everything selected, so it could be any one of them. If I pick the number 1, it might be key count, but only if key count's greater than 0. So I'm gonna have to do like multiple checks. Crap. How to pick a random bool, but only if the bool's true. I could pick a random. Private. Oh, that still won't work. So some of these are never going to be randomized. Like Power Sword, I'll never want that one to be randomized. And that's a crappy name for it, it's just sword. But same thing for Bow, same thing for Scorpion Tail. Those are not going to be randomized. The key might be randomized. The parts will be randomized. Money would be randomized, arrows would be randomized. If I put bombs in, they would be randomized. It's only going to be those select things that would be randomized. Everything else would be specific, like a specific monster or boss would drop those things.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, do I just randomize those pieces only? And if that's the case, those are all... Except with the exception of the heart, those are all...
But it's kind of, isn't it kind of weird that
Merrick.
like every enemy is gonna have a check if it has a sword when you don't intend on any of them being able to drop it?
Yes. Agree, but it's just a Boolean value, so it shouldn't take up much memory.
No, it definitely will not. 100, what is it? 1,000,000 booleans should even a million would still be negligible.
Yeah.
Because doesn't, I mean, depending on the processor, don't they do like 2 million and change process per second?
Be 1,000 million, but trillion. It's in gigahertz. Megahertz would be
Right.
millions of
So
operations.
even 1,000,000 booleans would be probably unnoticeable. Or maybe not. Maybe it would be noticeable if you layer it on top of the rest of the game.
And I would imagine, so right now what I'm thinking is each scene or each like dungeon area will be a different scene in Unity.
Yeah.
And if I have like a dozen mobs in a given scene, that's a lot, right? So it should be fine to have each of them have 10 extra Boolean values on there. We're
Yeah.
talking, I don't
The
know if
images
C# actually stores it as a single byte or a single bit, but even if it's a whole byte, it's still fine. It's 8 times 12 times, say, 10 extra bools. We're not
It really
talking
adds up.
astronomical numbers here.
It really adds up. If you had like 1,000 monsters on the screen, and they're all like 4K resolution,
Yeah.
it'd be fine. But the booleans is what we gotta think about. Each at 10 booleans, you're doomed.
This is all just junk. I need to get rid of that. I think I need to step away from this from the standpoint of not work on the random right now and figure out how I'm going to work on the random and work on something else right now.
Is there not like a choose thing?
You mean?
Like just make it pick. A choose function.
No. I would have to write something like that.
Choosy.
And there's like no way to know which true it chose, right? Because they're all true. That was where I was gonna go down. I was like, well, if I pick number 5, that would work if like all of the items were an option, right? Because I could just go to the 5th bool and that's the one. But we don't know which ones are turned on or off unless we scan through each one of them. So I'd have to say, get the 5th one that's true. So I'd have to go through each individual variable and check to see if it's true. And if it is, increment a number, and then see if that number also matches whatever I picked randomly. And that's just a bunch of hooey, so I'm not going to do it. Because like every time I add a new item, I'd have to add a bunch of code to that function.
Yeah.
I don't want to do
These
that.
statements are typically not the way to go.
Especially when I know it for a fact I'm going to add, say, 10, 12 more bool values to this at least, right? Because I want to have a decent number of items, but not too many.
Yeah.
Because they all have to fit on the screen at the same time. My inventory screen. I don't think that's a problem though. Okay, so we got enemy drops working where I can choose what the drop will be, but not randomness yet. Let me just update my Trello. Randomly selected. Probably will only do random for the amounts. Let's see, 1 to 10 rupees. Not sure how you spell rupees. Oh, like that. Sample 10 rupees. 5 to 10 arrows, etc. Okay, moving wall. Oh, that'll be fun. Okay, so let's do that one instead. Got a somewhat of an idea in mind for that already. So I'm going to create a new empty. And we can get rid of this thing. We're going to call it moving wall. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and drag it into my prefabs down here. Moving walls. Boom. And let's go into the prefab editor for that specific one. Go to the dungeon tile maps and start dragging in the tiles we want to use for this. Unfortunately, they're too tall. As in
Use
too
the fill
high.
bucket on that well, make it red and glowing. Put some particle effects. Really bring it to life, you know?
Let's see, so grab this one.
If someone ever data mines the game, they'd be like, wait a second, there's this weird thing where if you go to you walk near the well, your character has water boolean that gets toggled on, but it doesn't seem to affect anything else in the game. And they'll know. Then they'll know they got the real secret ending.
I am debating whether or not to have swimming in it.
Swimming?
Mm-hmm.
That's blasphemous. Then the has water will always be toggled on.
Is water. In water.
Is has water. Is has water is set to 3.
So that's really
That's what
all.
happens when a 12-year-old makes a Game Maker game. I have my is has water variable set to 3, and I don't know why this isn't working. What are you trying to do with is has water? Well, I just want the character to when two water they are is has water.
I checked if it's a string that says TRUE. And it's saying it's not. It gives me compile error. If you could fix my code for me and send it to me by the end of the day, that'd be great. Thanks.
What? You want $5 to do an hour's worth of work? How dare you?
You
You
should
greedy
just
bastard! I'm not paying you anything. You should do it for free.
You should
Don't
do it for
love
free.
doing it? What about the exposure?
I already promised my little brother that he'd be able to play this by the end of the week.
Yeah.
You're gonna make him
Try
cry.
to make an MMORPG, and is has water isn't working.
2D, there we go. Box layer. Go.
Why do people want to make MMORPGs? They seem like the most insane projects to undergo. I feel like even big studios don't want to do it. Why would an indie want to do it?
I think it's they don't understand what they're getting into as a new person
It's so
to it.
easy to understand though. It has the word massive in it.
But it's just an M. It's not massive.
Right. It's pretty easy to comprehend the amount of work required to make a functioning one, let alone a good one. I'm not even sure anyone's ever really made a good one. Maybe Guild Wars 2, maybe World of Warcraft. That's up for debate. But they're the best we got in the genre.
Yeah, if you gauge popularity or money making ability, then I would think that World of Warcraft would be a good one.
Well, I'm kind of skeptical
From a
about
person
the
who's never
money-making
played it.
ability part of it, though, because its upkeep is insane.
From like the server costs and stuff, yeah. But their
Well, yeah,
initial
the fact that there's like ongoing development to keep people from quitting.
same thing for like Eve Online, the space MMO,
Yeah.
and Elite Dangerous. They just constantly have to add new content to keep it going.
Well, Elite Dangerous is an incredible business model.
I don't understand Elite Dangerous. Like, I get that they sell their game, but like, how can they keep their servers up and running and going like this? It's not a monthly subscription. There is no monthly subscription as far as I know.
No,
I've
but
played
Elite
it.
Dangerous has the most like egregious microtransaction stuff ever. It's not even microtransactions. It's like macro transactions.
Elite?
Like some of the stuff you can buy in Elite Dangerous. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Star Citizen.
Okay, that makes more sense. Elite.
Star Citizen had like $6,000 microtransactions, like single items.
Whoa. I don't know if that could be qualified as a micro anymore at that scale.
Well, yeah. It functions the same way a microtransaction does, but the number is just very high.
You've never used Unity, right?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I made like a little demo of a square that moves around, and I was like, ah.
I know Unity.
I was like, yeah, that's good enough. I don't know anything. I'm not even really a programmer.
Ah.
I know nothing. And at least I know what I know, which is nothing.
I just max grade as knowing things. It's gotten me far in life. What was it?
My specialty is outsourcing. That's my #1 talent. Not doing the work. Figuring out how to not do the work in the right way. Figuring out how to not do the work, but the work is still getting done. That is my skill set.
Was it Bill? I think it was Bill Gates. He had some quote where it's like, "Give me a lazy person because they'll figure out the most efficient way of doing it," or something like that, right? Because they don't want to do the work themselves.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we need to.
It's not that I don't want to. I would love to do the work, But the prerequisite for being able to do the work is a lot of education, and that's the part I don't want to do. Not that I have anything against education. It's just I don't have enough time to get educated in all the things that I need to be educated about to make it happen.
Yeah.
So I have to do other stuff too.
I've been a backline Unity developer for quite a while before I decided I'm gonna actually do one now.
What's quite a while to you?
Multiple years, like.
Oh yeah, that's adequate.
Unity 4 or something was out, right? I don't know what their actual version number is now. They just go by years now, but yeah, it doesn't say. It doesn't say an actual version number, but it was a long time when I first set up Unity the first time. I was an uber geek at 16 for my birthday. I got a programming language, like the software for visuals, Visual C or something like that. I think it was.
It's gonna serve you well.
It did.
People sometimes forget how many little things, like throughout their life, they have had, like that they glean education from. Because like you might say you've been programming for 2 years. But I might say you've been programming since you were 16 in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, I have been a programmer since I was 16, but
there you go.
Not Unity, right?
Right.
That's the only difference.
So, like, to pick that up, if you got your memory erased, how soon could you get back to where you are now? 10 years, 20 years? How long will it take?
There's a lot of it I could probably skip.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know. You'd do it the same way again if you didn't have a memory.
So I learned C++, I learned Visual Basic, I learned Basic, I learned QBasic, I've learned COBOL, I've learned a little bit of RPG, and I don't use any of that stuff I've said anymore.
Well, you don't use any of the languages, but you use the knowledge.
The concepts, yeah. Like an if statement is in just about every programming language, so you're good if you understand what that does. Same thing with loops and stuff like that. So, void start push, and we'll give it a vector3 with a force that will apply. Excuse me.
Where's below the stone, underneath the rock?
I don't know. He's probably still awake because I don't think that man ever sleeps. Like, he would be streaming when I went to bed and fell asleep. And I would wake up in the morning and he'd be on Discord sending messages still. Saying he hadn't gone to bed yet. Add force. We're just going to add the force. Is it a vector 2? That should be enough. And to test it, we'll put it in here like this. So it calls it on start. We'll make this serializable. I do not know what else we need to do this, but we'll start with this. I have a feeling that it's going to go horrible when I put multiple side by side, but we'll find out. Awesome. Camera turn on, please. This, we need to tell you your force. We're going to give it a force in the X direction. of 1. Yay, it's not moving. Mass, angular drag is 0. Yeah, there's a couple more settings we need to do here. Let's freeze the rotation. Let's go split screen on this so I can see this object. Doesn't move at all. More force, more power. It's alive. It's nowhere near the camera, but it's alive. That force 10 is not
Is that
bad.
a new boss? He's moving at an alarming rate.
No, this is a new wall.
Oh, I see.
Have you ever played any of the old Zelda games where like you push a button and like the wall moves back out of the way? It'll be that.
Yeah. But what about the infamous wall with a little bit of cracks in it?
With the bombs, see, I don't know if I want to do bombs or not. Just haven't decided.
At least have a wall with a small hole in it that you could shoot your bow at. And if it gets in the hole, not like you... I mean, if you just hit it with the bow, with the arrow, it opens like a little arrow slot. And by the way, if you do end up putting it in the game, I want a 10% royalty. That's a reference to this Twitch streamer that specifically states anyone
It's
who makes a
offering,
suggestion
yeah.
doesn't get any royalties. Like as if that's like even a thing.
Is that the same guy that's got his chat in follower only mode?
Yeah.
I've seen him.
I waited in his chat for 30 minutes as a follower to say something. I just said hello. But I was not very happy having to wait 30 minutes to talk.
You had to wait
You have
after
to
being a
follow and then
follower?
wait. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Well, because it'd be pointless. Because if people could follow on
True. Yeah, I guess that
So I
stops
get
bots.
it, but
Then.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a bit
Stops
extreme.
bots, but it also stops regular people. So I think that's the bigger problem.
Yeah, it probably stops regular people by a wider margin for sure.
Yeah. I haven't really actually seen any Twitch streamers have problems with bots, especially people with like 6 viewers.
So, like, that guy, I forget what, like, I rated him, right? Not knowing that he had his follower only chat on and stuff. And he ended up messaging me later, like, through Twitch's private messaging, saying thank you for the raid and stuff. And then I mentioned to him, you might want to turn follower mode off because, like, we couldn't talk to you. And he's like, oh, I turned that on because I had a problem with bots. I had, like, 50 bots come in and just were spamming my chat like crazy. Okay. I guess
Wow.
it could happen, but
I don't think those were bots. Or if they were bots, I don't think that they were just random. I think they were targeted.
yeah, I think so too. Because I can say that I've never had a bot come in and actually do anything except for like Nightbot when I've set it up to spam the message every once in a while about my Discord or
Yeah.
something like that.
I
Which,
haven't seen any bots acting up.
that hasn't even happened tonight, has it? Must be broke.
I remember it popping up saying if you're enjoying the Discord, join the Discord. But that was a while ago.
Yeah, it was like almost an hour ago. Over an hour ago, it says. Oh, here's the last message. Just 12:13. Oh, I bet it's because my connection keeps cutting out. He probably thinks I'm not
It's been
streaming the whole
fine.
time.
It just cut out once.
So what I've got on the screen here could work, but I'm noticing like as soon as I hit play, these colliders bounce into each other and they separate. So I might need to set this up with multiple sprites, one collider on one object, so they don't bounce into each other, basically. Which is annoying, because I have to do this, basically. And then these need to be moved like this to fit the specific case of whatever area I'm trying to move this wall.
I was actually looking at like a let's play of I can't remember which Zelda it was, and I found it kind of strange the way they went, the decision they made with the art, as far as it being like 2D isometric or orthographic or whatever, but you could see all four walls. Like you could see if if like someone graffitied the wall, you'd be able to see it on any of the four.
Yeah, it's almost like your camera's centered in the middle of the room and you can see all of them, because it's almost like a fisheye camera on it, right?
Yeah. It's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
It's, if you really think about it, I don't know what the implications are. It's best not to think about it.
Well, basically,
It
it
seems
makes
kinda strange.
the art for this
Like
is the
the
same way.
character doesn't have the same effect.
No, not at all.
So, well, I mean, if it did, it'd be insane, because the character would be collapsed in on itself. The center point of the screen would be like the character would wrap around the center.
His head would be a dot if he's in the center of the screen.
Yeah.
So like this room, it works fine because the layout's appropriate. Like his head will go into the door before his feet, right? If you look at it that way. But where it's really weird is in this other scene I've got with the for the desert. Go up to this door. So like his feet will be in this block, but his head will be up over top of this. So when he walks into this door, his feet will go in, but his head's gonna hit the side of the door.
Yeah.
But that's even how Zelda is, right? It's just I don't know. I guess in Zelda maybe he's only one block tall, so it's not a much of an issue.
Yeah. It's yeah.
So my solution for that is when you're close to the door, you just automatically go in. It's like you don't actually walk into it all the way. So you can't see that it's off like that.
But it's cool because you could have like stuff hidden on the walls.
Yeah.
You know, have like signs or papers or notes stuck to the wall or whatever. A lot of different mechanics you can have if you can see all four walls.
And it helps for exploring it. Like if you had a vertical wall that you couldn't see what was on the wall, you couldn't tell there was a door there to go through.
Well, I mean, you can make it so that it's I mean,
Maybe
it's
it
not,
sticks out a little bit or something, but
yeah. I mean, like Stardew Valley has it the other way, where only the top wall is, you know, is stretched out. All the other ones are top down.
gotcha.
And you could still tell doors. I mean, especially internally, you could do it like the way the Diablo system does, where they fade in and out the kind of like.
Oh, like as you walk towards the wall itself, it goes out so you can see your character?
Yeah. Or the ceiling disappears if you're
Under an arch or something?
Like you can see a ceiling in a room that you're not in, but if you're in that room, you don't see the ceiling.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Which is another interesting implication of like the camera is technically floating above the building you're in, but can like peer through any of the ceilings or whatever, only in the ones your character is in. It reminds me of like in that Mario game, that Mario like open world game where there's like a guy on a cloud with a camera, because it was the first game that you could turn the camera or something like that.
Oh yeah.
The 3D Mario one.
Yeah, like the 64.
Yeah.
Right, 64 or something like that.
But I guess there's not really a good way to like keep immersion high in a game with a fixed camera position. If you really think about it, but most people don't think about it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a game world. It's one of those other dimensions we were talking about before.
Exactly. Where all the tree stumps are cut in half. You should just keep the art like that. You should have all the trees. They're like cleaved down the
Split in the
middle,
middle.
but they're growing perfectly normally. Like just make it a theme. Everything's like halved.
Unfortunately, I don't know how it happened, so I can't reproduce it.
Well, you can reproduce it by making it, like making the actual proper graphic for it already cleaved. You know?
Oh yeah,
Making it a feature.
that sounds like even more work. It's a feature, not a bug. So this is interesting. I've got it set up so that this object has a rigid body on it, which means it can interact with physics objects in Unity, or those physics objects can interact with it, so that I can move it. But if I do that, then that means the player can probably push this thing around too. Like he can just walk up to the wall and shove on it and it would move. But I don't want him.
But why does it need a rigid body?
Well,
Can
just
it have the same properties as a regular wall?
it can, but not with the way I'm moving it.
Not
Is,
move it?
is the way I'm.
Oh, I see.
That's the issue. So it's more about I need to change how I'm moving it.
Or can you make the player not be able to push it somehow? Is there a toggleable thing?
I mean, I could turn off simulation, but then the moving wouldn't work when I want to move it using this method. So I think I'm just gonna have to remove the rigid body altogether, move it a different way. I was trying to be lazy and just say add a force to it, but I need to update its transform over and over and over again.
Can't you tween the transform?
Yeah, there's a slurp
And
or
coordinates
lerp.
and tween it.
It's called in Unity. Voids update. If should move. So public should bool should move equals false. Okay.
Alright, I have to disappear to a different Discord.
Okay.
I might be back, I might not be back.
Well, thank you for hanging out with
My
me.
stream while I'm gone.
Okay. Thank you for permission to do so.
Keep working on the well. Make sure it's refined, highly refined.
Maybe I'll make it so. Oh, there's an idea. Now this is an idea I like. Throw a coin in the well and maybe it gives you a random thing back.
Oh.
Haha.
Or you throw a coin in the well and the well moves and there's a hatch in there. It's not actually a well. Ooh.
So.
Or you throw a coin in the well
Toss
and a
coin.
dragon appears.
I did want a dragon in the game, so maybe that's a good way of doing it. Like you just have a 1% chance of getting the dragon to come out.
Oh.
Just hundreds of coins thrown in it before you get it. There's a mechanic like that in Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, where there's a fairy wishing well. You keep throwing things in it, and eventually
Well, then
the fairy allows you to get an
con
upgrade.
artist, if you have that in your game. You gotta one more level of obscurity. Make it not throwing coins, but like melee swings near the well.
Just pound on it like with the hammer.
Yeah.
Wake the dragon.
Oh, it could be like one of those, like a tree, like a piñata or a tree. If you hit it, it just shakes, and most of the time it does nothing. But sometimes something falls out of the tree.
Now that is
The
in
shake you can do.
that
easy
game
enough.
too. Like you can smash into
mechanic.
trees and apples and stuff will fall out of the trees.
Oh, there you go. Fuck. They copied me.
They copied you before you even had the idea. They pre-copied you.
All right, I'm out of here.
Yep.
See
Later.
you later.
Have a good night. Should move. So if it should move, then we're going to transform dot position equals dot lerp. No. Vector 3 dot lerp. And linearly interpolates between two vectors. So we're going to have a start point and an end point. Excellent. Private start. Transform start. Start. Private transform end. And this will be a serializable one so that we can set it in the inspector. And we'll say we're going to go from start to end. And those are not consistent in their naming. And it's going to be time dot delta time. Right? I don't know. Why are you airing off? Oh, I need to say position. Position. Alright, those are transforms. That should work. Why are you airing off in the start method even? Ta-da! So it's going to go from start to position, but we need some other amount to linearly interpolate by. Vector 3.lerp. Give me your Unity help file, please. Because I believe we need to be using some other value there. Distance covered. Start time times speed, blah blah blah. This is overly complicated, but start time would be good to have. It's this. So we're gonna need to capture a start time then in our down here, and we're gonna say should move equals true down here. And we're gonna say start time equals whatever, and this is gonna be a float. Start time. And it's going to be time.delta time. Time.time, I guess. I'm sorry. Okay, and we're going to take calculate. We'll say speed, private, speed. Set it to like 3 by default. I don't know. Float speed, and we'll say serializable so we can get it in the inspector. And we're going to say discover distance. Float distance equals direction of journey completed equals current distance divided by the total distance. Okay. Travel, so private, float, travel, distance. Travel equals 0, and we'll say the travel distance down here. We'll calculate here. Travel distance equals start dot position vector 3 dot distance start dot position end dot position. Yay. Okay, and we can say travel distance It's covered. Gotcha. Time minus start time. This is starting to make more sense to me. So speed. So that's how far we're going to cover in this frame. And then float, the fraction covered equals distance covered divided by length. What we call it? Travel distance. There we go. And then this becomes this. Right? And then in start, we'll set that as well. Start equals dot position equals transform dot position. So where we're at right now in the world. I should cover it. Guess we could get rid of that variable if we wanted to and just put all this right there, but oh well. Let's test it. Save, come over here in Unity. Unity's going to get rid of this one and it's going to give us another one. Actually, did we get rid of force? We did not. Let's get rid of force. My stomach making all sorts of noises. Okay, so this transform. We'll just create another empty inside of it, and we'll say target location, and we'll just move this, say, back here, and then on this we'll put target location right there. Let's actually apply all this to our prefab. So this is how we're going to want it to be. I don't know about the length of it. I'll have to figure that out later, I guess. Yeah, see how it works. We don't have anything that calls should move or start move, right? Let's do that. Let's start push. Void start. There we go. Why are you airing off? Oh. EOS. EOS. So I need to change our start position or in position again. We renamed it. Or is it just magically gonna know? Cool. Fine by me. Oh, there's a compile error. Please update your variable name everywhere you've used it. Have you used it somewhere else? Where? Why are you still red? That would be why. Play. Play, my precious. Alright, it didn't actually take it the first time, so it kept the variable before, and then when it did compile, we lost it, like I said it would. Well, it's not moving. There's no error. Oh, there is an error. Object reference not set to a... What? Right, because we don't have a transform on it. Equals new transform. Can we do that? Nope. Crap. Do this, but I don't think this is going to be what I want. Come on, stop playing. Compile faster. Hey, it moved. At Mach 7. Good grief, what's distance covered at this point? What's the fraction? $7 trillion? Okay, distance covered is 0. Step over. It's still 0, which it should be because we haven't moved at all. Let's just continue. Actually stop it here instead so we can get the values. 0.009, okay. Okay, now we're at 1.006, so we're past it. But we're still moving. How does start time get 0? Let's start at 0 when we start the game. I just don't like this is 1, so it should stop moving, but it's not. We still have rigid body in here. Let's get rid of that. Don't think that's it. But we'll get rid of it. Please, Unity, let me do a thing. Oh, breakpoints are still set. Stop. Get rid of you. Fly. We are now traveling faster than the speed of light, and our bounding box for our collider cannot even keep up. What has happened? Start marker, end marker. Okay, fine. Let's add another start marker. That should be it. Start location. And it's just going to be right where it is. It's going to be 0, 0, 0. Alright, so we'll make you public. Serializable, that works. And then we don't have to set your start position down here. Boom, boom, bang. That's how you make a sale. Oh, all of the errors are coming out now. Wow. It's not liking me right now. At all? Let's just try this compile job again here. Before memory runs out. Nope, it's still gonna do it. You're pushing GUI clip more than you were popping. Make sure they bounce. This sounds like a Unity crash bug, so I'm gonna go ahead and save and just kill it. And we'll restart Unity because that did not make any sense. How long we been going? 2 hours, 33 minutes. Cool. Debating whether I should end soon once I get this working. And then stream in the morning and stuff. Because it doesn't look like there's a lot of people watching if I'm to believe the Twitch numbers. So if you're out there and you're watching, let me know. Because I don't believe the Twitch numbers right now. Sick of that, all those errors went away. Just Unity crashing on me. Had enough of my shenanigans. Come on, play the scene. Chop chop. First time you run Unity, it takes forever to hit play. Don't know why. At least for my scene it does. Okay, we're traveling at Mach 600 still. But we gain anything? I don't think we did. What is up? What is up? I don't see why it's doing this. Okay, we're calculating the journey length down here, travel distance. It's how far we need to travel. We're saying time.delta time, or time, taking the current time minus the start time times speed. So how much time has passed, and that's our speed. That's our total distance covered. Yep. That's what it should be. And that's divided by our travel distance. Yep. Start, end, so we're traveling in the right direction. Okay, let's put another breakpoint here. Let's take a look at distance covered and see if it's some ridiculously small amount compared to travel distance. So we've covered 250 units of 6. Awesome. And then if we step over this, that gives us a fraction of 41. So we've traveled 41 times the distance. So, if... Oh, come on. Stop. If fraction distance covered is greater than 1, guess what we're going to set it to? 1. And then we can do this. And we can say should move equals false. Because we're at their destination now. Ta-da! Let's let this compile, rerun the game. Bingo, bango, bango. It goes fast and it stops at the destination? It stopped. But it stopped further than it should. Is it because of speed being different? If we set speed smaller, the distance traveled would be, distance covered, sorry, would be smaller per frame. But its total distance traveled, or total travel distance it's got to do is going to remain the same. It'll just take longer to get there. I'm not. So we went all the way out to 674, right? So let's take the target location. It's at 6. It's at 6. How is it at 6? But we went to 674. Greater than or equal to 1. So it doesn't ever go greater. We'll set that to false then, and we'll stop moving, right? And we should be in position at that point. We're setting our transfer and transform. Let's try it again. And Unity's crapping his pants. Yeah, we got it to stop having a fit at least.
Just because I don't shower doesn't mean it's dirty.
Interpolates between two positions. Interpolates between the vector A and B by the interpolant T, which is this one. The parameter T is clamped between 0 and 1, so it should never go past 1. This is most commonly used to find a point, some fraction along the way, along a line between two endpoints, e.g. to move an object gradually between those points. That's exactly what we want to do, right? We want to go from where we are to where we're headed. And it doesn't do that. I just figured it out. Yep. Awesome. I got it. I know what it is. We're going to handle this. We said deal with it. Private vector 3 start. Private vector 3 end. There we go. What was going on was the start position is moving. The end position is moving with this because they're child objects in the hierarchy in Unity. Right? They're child of this. So when this moves, it moves these as well. So we were never reaching those end and start locations from a physical location standpoint. which is where it was trying to push us towards, even though it's really something else we're trying to push towards, which is these cached locations, basically, for these. We're going to say start equals in POS dot position. Oops, end. Start position dot position and end. What was that? There we go. Ta-da! Watch it work this time. As soon as it compiles. Unity, stop giving me this error. This is annoying. And stop. Yes! Perfect. It's doing exactly what I want it to do. It's moving from start to end by the speed, right? So let's go 2 speed instead of 3, see if it moves slower. Looks like it is. Let's go super slow, 0.1. Excuse me. Hey, it's moving super slow. Awesome. What's a good speed for it, though? 1, maybe? Sure, 1. Okay, so now we'll add in our prefab for our button. Button, interactions, button. Well, crap, we're gonna have to do this in the overworld, aren't we? Okay. So let's go ahead and apply all the pieces here. We're going to go into our script and we're going to edit it a little bit. So we're going to say this is public. We're going to no longer call this in start because we don't want it to start moving immediately. We want it to be triggered by another event in Unity or action in Unity. So let's go ahead and close that out. Let this compile. We'll save this. We'll load another scene. And that scene is going to be our overworld, which is we just use for lots of testing right now. And we're going to go, I don't know, right there. Okay, perfect. And we've got a button somewhere in this world. Button right there. Looking right at it. We need to set its order layer to 1. There we go. And on this button... Oh, wait, let's grab our prefab we just built. Sorry. Prefab movable walls. We're going to put this one right here. Let's open that prefab and add another script to it real quick. Sorry. All of these actually. So do this little tool. Down here, on check and check so it knows to save. Then we should be good as long as we set all of these to have this as the parent. Boom. Save. Save, please. Unity, save. Why aren't you saving? The project? You still show you haven't saved. Save here. That's why. So now we can move this in here. And even though we can't see it right now, it will be visible when we play the game. Let's set that target location, and it's already set to move back to there. Awesome. And on our button then, so let's lock this inspector. Instead of controlling that door, we're going to control this wall, and we're going to say wall movable, start the push, and then there will be no action when it's unpressed on that button. So now make our game window a little bit bigger so we can see what we're doing. Oh, save. We need to set our scene again. Main menu. Boom. Bigger. Bigger, bigger, bigger. Start. There's our wall. Walk on the button. It starts moving. And it stops. And it's still a collidable object the whole time. We couldn't have gone through it, right? Here we go. I think that's what I was going for, right? So it's controllable by other things, by just calling that start push. It looks like it's going to move again, which is interesting. We'll have to fix that. Did not expect that either. We'll just set a variable that says push once, and we'll just override it to, I don't know, allow it to only push once. Private has moved. Ooh. Bool has moved. Basically, if it has moved, we're never going to move it again. Will equal false. And, let's say down here, and has not moved. And in here, we'll just set it to true. Oh, we don't want to set it there, do we? We want to set it in here. So if it has not moved, we can move. And once you have moved, these don't ever move again. Once you're at the end. And in start, we won't reset that like we do down here. So it should never run again. In fact, down here, we'll say if it's not moved, then we'll do this stuff. Let's try it again. Push the button. You go, you go, you go. You'll even push me. What are you gonna do when I get squished? No, you just push me all the way. Cool. Push you again, you don't do anything. Awesome. No, no. Gotcha. Let's start it one more time. I want to get squished better because I want to see what happens. Squish me, please. Also, I'm just stuck. Hey, the guy knocked me out, though. I think we're good. So that'll be our moving dungeon wall. Maybe we can make it taller. We can edit the prefab to be the height we need, right? It's not a big deal. That's all there's to it. So let's go ahead and wrap this up for tonight. Look at them bits. 3 whole bits. Thank you guys. You're awesome. Apparently I resubbed myself and followed myself tonight too when I was testing the restream thing. We made some good progress here. We made some enemy drops, right? We reclassified it so that it could work in the inspector a little easier, right? So we can say on this specific mob, we will now be able to set the item that it drops. Not randomized yet. Still need to think through how I want to do that, or if I want to do that even. And then we were able to build this moving wall. Got stuck a little bit on the script, but that's okay. We got it in the end. So I'm gonna shut down. I will see you guys tomorrow. If you're not already on the Discord, check Discord out. It's how you can keep track of what's going on and all that fun stuff. So catch you later. Bye.